Trojan family, what is going on? Welcome to USC LAFB Live, noon Pacific, doing our first ever midday live show, trying it out Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be here at noon Pacific time, bringing you the latest in USC. Going to have a heavy recruiting focus. We still are going to have our call-in show every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Plus, we'll have probably a pre-recorded preview show come out on Friday, and then we'll have our live reaction on Saturdays and Sundays. So the goal here at USC LAFB is to bring you programming 7 days a week. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm super excited about it, and hopefully we get a lot of you in here and hang out and have some fun. So today on the docket, little recruiting update, or I should say kind of big recruiting update. There's some, chatter about Chris Henry at Mater Dei, chatter about Mark Bowman at Mater Dei. There's been a crystal ball prediction put in for a 2027 prospect for USC. There is a massive list of visitors going to be at the Michigan game at the Coliseum on Saturday. I mean, if we thought Michigan State's visitor list was massive, this one is like double it. They're going to take like half the stadium. So another tremendous job by Lincoln Riley, Chad Bowden, and the entire recruiting staff. So we'll kind of talk about that. And then something I want to do every Tuesday. And so this one will be a little different, but every Tuesday I want to take viewer comments and kind of chat through them. So shout out my good buddy, Trojan Blade. He does an episode of this on his channel. And so we're going to do something kind of similar. And, for now, I'm kind of just pulling comments from some of our past videos. And, but in the future, I'll probably make a thread where anyone can ask anything. But, we do the call-in show. The whole goal is just more engagement, more interaction with the Trojan family as we kind of continue building this LAFB community. So let's get logistics out of the way. They are good friends, though. If you have not heard of Sleeper yet, you should if you watch this show, because they're our title sponsor for the entire season. Go download the Sleeper app today, #1 sports app. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure to use our promo code USC LAFB. It's going to get you a $100 match bonus. Oh, and right now, they're doing a $20 free entry for any new users. No deposit needed. Just giving you $20 free. So what are you doing? Go and download the Sleeper app today. It's great for season-long fantasy, but it's a blast for the daily fantasy you can do. It's like a pick 'em. Pick 2 to 8 players in any league across any sport. Just pick more or less. So if you're a Dodger fan, more or less home runs for Shohei, more or less runs, bases, strikeouts for Yamamoto, pitching, hopefully wrapping the series up tomorrow. So check out Sleeper today. Tell them USC LAFB sent you. All right, let's get into recruiting stuff. So where do we want to start? Let's go with crystal ball first, right? So 2027 class, no commitments yet. They will be coming. I said this, I think, on a previous show, but I think this time last year is when USC, they already had a couple 2026 commits, or excuse me, 2025 commits. No. Yes, 2026 commits, because they're talking about the next year. They had a couple in that class. I think Braden Jones was one that came around this time last year, but they really only 2 or 3 came in season. And then we saw them in the spring, especially after Chad Bowden was hired. Then they just started knocking out of the park and getting that. So I expect the same this year, especially with a more secluded class. Being, probably in that 15 to 18 range in the 2027 class. So they're going to be, offering less and just not adding as many. So I expect from now until the end of the year, probably at max 5 commits, but probably two to 5 commits. And then they'll hit the spring up and add the remaining, 10 to 12. So I don't think anyone needs to worry that they don't have any commits yet. There's a ton of feelers out, ton of momentum out. And whatnot. So real quick, let me just get to this question here. Tried of Judah, thanks for tuning in. Anything update on injuries? So I will be at practice later today. Lincoln Riley will talk to us today. We probably will not get much of an update. He has elected to kind of wait until that 2-hour window before the game when the Big Ten requires the injury report. So beginning of the year, he gave us a little bit more, and now he pretty much just defers to that. So I doubt we will get much But anything I get, I will let you guys know for sure. And then tomorrow I'll be at practice and we'll get to talk to Dan Lynn. So we'll see if we get any defensive injury updates, but we'll talk all throughout the week. As of now, Tuesday at noon, I do expect Elijah Page to play. That's just my kind of guess based on him practicing all last week. And then we'll see how his practice looks this week. Alex Graham, I feel like will be available, but how much he will play, the dude's missed the entire season, has never played a collegiate snap. So they're going to need to work him in slowly and not just be like, hey, solve our problems at nickel as a true freshman and being hurt all season. Like they need to work him in slowly, but I do expect him to be able to dress. Outside of that, I'll wait throughout the week to see what I hear, but that's kind of what I'm assuming. And then I'll get to more of these questions here later on in the show so we can just knock out this recruiting stuff. Thanks everyone for jumping in, hanging out. So yes. So Crystal Ball came in last night from Blair and Gulo of 24/7 Sports, put in a crystal ball for safety Khalil Terry, 4-star out of Tustin, local kid, to commit to USC. He is the 25th ranked safety according to 24/7 Composite, 239th ranked overall player in the 2027 class. He was originally committed to Michigan State, decommitted, like he committed real early considering he's a 2027 kid and he's already been committed somewhere and decommitted. But decommitted, has been to SC. He was at the USC game against Michigan, one of the visitors, Michigan State, the last home game a couple weeks ago. And I believe he is planning to travel to Notre Dame for the Notre Dame USC game. So obviously there to visit Notre Dame, but gets to see USC again as the road team in South Bend next weekend. So I think this is a great sign. Tustin has a super talented team this year. And there's a collection of, 3 to 4 2027 prospects that are highly touted. You got, I think, 2 on the D line and then Khalil Terry. And again, everyone has to choose their own path, but there's kind of rumors and speculations that they would be, I don't want to say a package deal, but, if you get one of them, you'll have a much better chance to get, multiple of them who want to go from high school and play together at college. Like we've seen, some of the modern day kids. And again, everyone needs to choose their own path. You don't want that to be why a kid chooses somewhere, because you want them to love USC and want to be part of the program, not just because their buddy went there. But, these things do play a factor. These are 15, 16-year-old kids. I know it would me. I know, I chose things based on my friends, so not always to the right decision. But so yeah, Khalil Terry, obviously would be very young, but I think the Trojans can kind of see him in that Kamari Ramsey ilk, and what just being his versatility, what he's able to do on the back end. We know obviously Kamari Ramsey has been playing at the nickel this year. We want him on the back end, but just showing his talent level of being that chess piece that can be like Derwin James in the pros and just used all over the football field. So I think Khalil Terry has that kind of talent, has that kind of pedigree in high school. We'll see if it translates and what kind of development he can get from the staff. But I think that is a great crystal ball. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, and we'll see if Terry ends up being the first commitment of the 2027 class. Okay, a couple kind of nuggets here. Chris Henry Jr., elite receiver. I think anyone that's watched Mater Dei this year, it's pretty clear he's the number 1 receiver in the 26 class. He's been committed to Ohio State for like 2 years now. He said he officially shut his recruitment down kind of in the spring, locked in with Ohio State, with Brian Hartline. He plays at Mater Dei, but he is an Ohio kid. So it really, I think at the time there was like, man, USC missed out on this. And, they did. But he is a Ohio kid, the son of the late, great Chris Henry, who obviously played in the NFL for Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Bengals. So he grew up in Cincinnati. So I think he said in interviews before that his dream has always been to play at Ohio State. So yes, he came to California to play for Mater Dei, but he's an Ohio kid. Anyway, I say all that because a new Rivals report just came out. And while he is not swaying from his commitment to Ohio State, USC has still pursued him heavily, not backing down. They obviously have great ties now with Mater Dei with the commitments they have in Mark Bowman and Sean Scott and Tamahuni Tapui, some other guys they've gone after, and Chris Henry, they've stayed hot on the dial. So that is interesting to me because, they already have 5 receivers in the class and headlined by Boobie Feaster. You got Trent Mosley, Luke Weaver, we can go down the list, but 5 receivers pursuing Henry, adding a 6th. I mean, can you imagine Chris Henry Jr., Ethan Boobie Feaster, Trent Mosley, Luke Weaver, like all in the same class? Like Tron Baker is the lowest rated at Sierra Canyon, and that dude's an elite receiver. Like Tron Baker is a talented kid. So you have 6. I don't know how that would work in today's kind of college football of, hey, I need to play now. I'm not going to sit and develop. And you have 6 guys. So I don't know if they were ever to sway him, if that would shift some offers within the class. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on that, but just interesting that they have not given up. And if you've watched Mater Dei, if you haven't watched, I think he actually got banged up against Orange Lutheran. So we'll see if he misses any time. But if you haven't watched, watch a game because he is an elite receiver. So interesting nugget. The other just little piece on Mark Bowman. I'll just read this. This is from Rivals also. There has not been a ton of pressure from any schools coming after Bowman, especially after he committed to USC in May, but many programs are not giving up just yet. Texas, Ole Miss, 2 teams to watch. Oregon keeps talking to Bowman's parents, and Georgia, who was a big player before he committed. I mean, Georgia and Texas were probably the biggest players with Oregon and Ole Miss behind. But all indications are, barring a collapse at USC, there's 0 chance of him flipping. So he seems very locked in with USC. Lincoln Riley and Chad Savage were at his game at the Mater Dei Orange Lutheran game on Friday. Worked out great for the buy. So they were able to see Bowman, able to see Tapui, able to see Sean Scott, able to see Chris Henry, whoever you want to go down the list of that. So yeah, he's still locked in. Obviously teams are going to go after you when you're the number 1 tight end in the country. And he's having a very good season in a loaded offense that there's games if you watch where it's like, they just aren't like targeting him and you're like, target him more. Because when they do, good things happen. Like he is a special player, a special tight end. And I think when you see what USC is doing offensively this year, specifically with the tight end position, not only is he locked in because of, the coaching staff, because of Chad Bowden and his staff and, the NIL package and all that, but I think you can see like this offense is becoming more tight end centric in what they're doing with Lake McCree and Walker Lyons and the amount of targets they're getting. And he can even be, more than that. So I don't think there's any fear there. Things are looking good with Mark Bowman. That was just a little tidbit right there. Brian Jacob, 5 receivers are too many as it is. 3 is probably right for a number of reasons, but mostly you aren't going to keep all 5 happy. Signing the OSU commit only makes this worse. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like you would never want to say no to such an elite receiver if Chris Henry starts to say, maybe I do want to stay out west. Maybe I do like USC. But yeah, it just seems like you then shift maybe away from some of the others. Obviously, everyone, 5 committed, no one signed. I love this receiver class. So personally, okay, let's just say it. You can't say no to Chris Henry. The dude is that good. I would just hate to see them then end up not getting. I just love the 5 guys they have. I think they all have a special role. Obviously, you'll see in the 27 class, I think they'll go like 1 receiver, if that. And we saw this kind of play out. It's been this way kind of multiple times now, right? Like the Makai Lemon, Jacoby Lane class was 4 receivers. Obviously, 2 ended up transferring. Then the very next year was just 1 with DJ Jordan. So, and then, this past year was 3? So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, it would be 5 is a lot. It'd be very odd to see 6. So, but a lot of work to do anyway. He's pretty locked in with Ohio State. So I don't think we need to worry about much of that as of now. All right, let's get into this list. Massive recruiting list. I mean, there's like 20 of the 32 commits and then like 27 recruits going to, I mean, it's a lot. So I'll kind of read through this quickly just so you guys can all hear it. I'm not going to divulge on a ton just because it's a lot of names. But of the 2026 committed class, you got Jonas Williams, quarterback, Kenai Pepe, offensive lineman, Mark Bowman, who we just talked about, Tamahuni Tapui. I mean, I keep saying Tapui might as well just live on campus already. The dude's there like every week, which I love. I mean, he just seems so fired up to be a USC Trojan. It's crazy to think he was committed to Oregon at one point. Like, he just seems like a USC lifer. Dude lives on campus already. Booby Feaster going to be there. That's big time. Braden Jones, who is one of the earliest commits of this class, going to be there. Brandon Lockhart, one of the having a great season for Sierra Canyon. I mean, he's a guy I think that's been underrated when you see how his senior season's going right now. And, he's still a top 10 corner in the class. I think he could be top 3. Dude, is this corner class USC has, especially if you think of RJ Sermons was originally part of this class with Elbert Hill and Brandon Lockhart and some of the other lower ranked guys, Madden Riordan, go down. I mean, it's a talented corner class, which obviously, as we see, USC needs to keep stacking that depth at the corner position. Trent Mosley, wide receiver out of Santa Margarita, is going to be there. Easton Tuffa, lineman out of Utah, will be there. Running back Sean Alston, who's having a monster year in the state of Ohio, will be there. Linebacker Sean Scott, wide receiver Luke Weaver, and wide receiver Tron Baker. And then you get offensive lineman Cannon Smith and Brett Collegier. Brett Collegier is killing it this year too with IMG. Him and Kenai Pepe, obviously teammates. Collegier he's a body mover. When you think of people, which I don't agree with, but people calling USC soft, and I'm taking out the Illinois game, obviously that they did look soft in that game, but I don't think this is a soft team. Brett Collegier is like the anti-soft. Like, he will make that offensive line anything but soft. The dude just eats people. Like, he's a big size person, but he's not like as massive as some of these other offensive linemen, but he plays like he's bigger than he even is. So he's one of my favorite commits in this class, and just his leadership skills, his ability to play center or guard. So he'll be there. 3-star cornerback Peyton Dyer. He had a fantastic game. I think USC Trojans gave him like the defensive player of the week. They've been assigning these for their recruiting class. I think he had like a really nice punt return. So he's having a nice season. Another underrated recruit. Andrew Williams, edge, will be there. Joshua Holland, another corner, will be there. Offensive lineman Chase Denise will be there. Vlad Diakonov will be there, which is great. He's been the one name that people are like, if anyone does flip, is he the one? Because it was kind of thought he would go where Ryder Lyons goes, his high school quarterback. But I think as of now, everything looks great. He's having a nice season up north at Folsom. Another quarterback, Madden Riordan, also having a fantastic season with Sierra Canyon. I think he is underranked, should not be a 3-star. Dude's a 4-star, in my opinion. Probably, people might think I'm being biased, but I think he's a fantastic player. And finally, offensive lineman John Fafita will be there as well. So, 80% of the 2026 class coming to town, baby. So that is great how fired up these kids are. And I think that's going to do absolute wonders, showing them in this atmosphere, sellout crowd, 4:30 kick at the Collie against Michigan. A beautiful Big Ten game. I think this is going to become one of the new good rivalries in the Big Ten between Michigan and USC. All right, let's look at the 2027 class. Tons of kids going, right? And this is a class that I have to get more up to speed on, guys. So I'm continuing to do research and learn about these players. So I won't be able to provide a ton of insight. This is, Tom Loy of 24/7 Sports kind of put out this list. So shout out to Tom Loy and shout out to 24/7 Sports. So this is kind of based on their rankings, but intel of who's coming. And then I've heard some confirmations from people I've talked to as well. Zyron Forstall, 5-star edge rusher. He goes to IMG Academy. So he's obviously younger, but he's teammates with Kenai Pepe, teammates with Brett Collegier. I do think that helps, right? When you have teammates committed to a school, they're going to get you fired up when you go visit with those teammates. I think that's a good recruiting tactic. We talked about it during the official visits in the spring about how tactical Chad Bowden was in the visitors coming for the OVs, but also how they combine them and certain ways. Like Luke Wafel, for instance, he came with all commits. It was him. He was the only uncommitted guy, and then 9 other 2026 commits. That was intentional. Absolutely. So visits like this feel very intentional. Obviously, it helps with the high school schedule as well. So number 9 overall player in the cycle, number 3 edge rusher in the country, Zyron Forstall. You know, Coach Henney and Sean Nua are going to be hot on this guy. I think that's a big one. San Diego safety, I believe he's teammates with Chase Denise. I believe they're at the same school, obviously both from San Diego, but I probably messed the name up. Honor Falaleve Johnson. He's the number 1 safety in the country. So you figure you can pair him with the potential commitment of the crystal ball Khalil Terry. You got 2 pretty solid safeties in this class right off the bat. Number 20 overall player. Defensive lineman at Sierra Canyon. Obviously, we know the connection that USC and Sierra Canyon is growing. Cassie Curry, number 22 overall recruit in the country, and the number 2 defensive lineman overall, 6'5", 315, as a junior right now. Can you imagine? When I was a junior, I'm still small, but I think I was like playing varsity football at 5'5", like 140. Imagine being 6'5", 315 as a junior. Another cornerback, Duve Williams from Junipero. He's another that I just feel is like a USC locked. He's been super highly recruited by USC. He's had nothing but fantastic things to say at USC. He's visited a bunch. So I feel like barring anything crazy, he will be a USC commit, in my opinion. Number 41 overall player, number 7 cornerback overall. Keep him home, local. He'll be at the Call-In this Saturday. Cornerback, Aaron Washington. Receiver, Quentin Hale. So far, these are all Cali kids. Another big one, modern day cornerback, Danny Lang. I think this is one that his recruitment has ramped up with USC. He can play safety or corner, has that versatility. Number 57 overall player in the country, number 9 at his position. Another IMG player, receiver, Osani Gales. Then we get to Chicago, Mount Carmel, linebacker, Roman, Igwabuki, I think. I'll work on that. 6'3", 220. Great size for a linebacker. Again, a junior. Number 6 linebacker overall. Back to Cali, Bosco cornerback, Jalen Hill. Was it Belk that was at the Bosco game this weekend? I want to say it was Doug Belk. I think was at the Bosco game watching Joshua Holland, but also getting some good conversation, hopefully, with Jalen Hill, who will be at the Call-In now. Another Bosco player, safety, Izala Asa Wiliava, number 21 safety in the country. So another person or another player Belk was able to connect with, hopefully. At Inglewood's, starting to pump out some good players as well. And Elijah Harmon, I believe, has visited already, been to a game. He'll be back. 6'3", 280 defensive lineman, 25th ranked defensive lineman. Stop me if I'm going crazy fast here, but we're just reading names. Olu. I love seeing Olu competitive, by the way. I know they've ended up now dropping a couple, but it's great seeing Olu, competing in that Trinity League. Lucas Roa, 6'5", 305. Big body, 3-star offensive lineman. Arizona, Michael Davis. Got a cornerback, 3-star cornerback. From Oceanside, 3-star offensive lineman, Lincoln Mageo. From Centennial, love me some public school talent. Centennial, 3-star safety, Jaden Walk Green. So another safety. We get another linebacker here from Oxnard, Isaiah Phelps, 6'1", 200. Great size for a backer. Eli Woodard also has visited to a game before. I believe, was he at the Michigan State game or the Georgia Southern game? He's at one of those from Temecula. So he'll be back. From Grayson, great Georgia powerhouse, 3-star defensive lineman Waylon Wooten. From Mission Viejo, they're having a nice season as well. The Diablos, Amaziah Ciali, I believe he has visited also. I'll have to double check on that. Offensive lineman. And then finally, from the 2027 class out of the state of Ohio, great city of Youngstown, edge rusher Dominic Letlow, 6'4", 230. Currently unranked, but one of these kind of hidden gem guys, I think, that does have some talent. And then from the 28 class, you got quarterback Donald Tarbin. He's the number 5 quarterback in the country. From San Diego, Gage Weddle, who's registered as an athlete, so can kind of play in different spots. Edge rusher Elijah Tua, 3-star receiver Roy Oliver III, and finally 3-star cornerback Karan Williams. Whew. So loaded amount of recruits going to be at the Collie this weekend against Michigan. So, absolutely incredible job from Chad Bowden and his staff. And if USC, which throughout the week now, we'll talk more previewing this game of Michigan, but if USC does what I think they're capable of, is healthier, is at home, bounces back, and wins a Big Ten bout with the 15th ranked Wolverines in front of all these recruits in that atmosphere, 4:30 kick. It's going to be a good day in the recruiting ranks, as well as obviously with this current team. So yeah, loaded day. Love to see it. All right, let's get to some. So again, we're trying this out. We're doing some viewer comments. We'll do this every Tuesday. And I think in the future, as we build this up, this specific time slot, I'll start putting a post out where anyone can just drop whatever they want, and I'll rifle through all those. For this time, since it's the first time doing it, I just pulled a few from some past videos we have done. So let's see here. Let's start with this one. Byron Gray, shout out. I know you watch a lot of videos. You comment a lot. Appreciate you. So his comment, and I don't remember what video this was on specifically, but it's not up to the fans to fill the Coliseum. It's the responsibility of USC to put a product on the field that's worth the people's time. If you're not winning, people are not going to attend. This is Los Angeles. There are plenty of ways someone can spend their hard-earned money and enjoy themselves. Just saying. Thanks again for the comment. But yeah, that's kind of the mindset of LA sports, not USC fans. That's just kind of LA sports fans, whether it's Dodgers, Lakers, obviously Rams and Chargers have had an uphill battle since coming back. I think it's going much better, but yeah, that's just kind of the, in this city with all we have, and it gets overused probably, but with everything there is to do, you got to put a good product on the field. Got to put a good product on the field. Now, I think USC is doing a much better job of that. Just remember the Clay Helton era is not that long ago. Now, got to start closing out these close games and winning big games like this one coming on Saturday. If you win this game against Michigan and you can go to South Bend and steal that game from Notre Dame, this place will be sold out every week. No question about it. So it's a different mindset, but it is also a city with so much opportunity, but also so many options to stray away. When you look at these small college towns, and I'm not saying this at any shade or anything bad, but it doesn't matter as much that fans care. I'm not saying they don't care, but it doesn't matter as much if the team is good, because that's part of the lifestyle. That's kind of part of the culture of that town, of the fabric of some of those cities. We'll just talk Michigan specifically. Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is a beautiful city in Michigan, but that's part of the fabric of Ann Arbor is the big house in Michigan. I believe USC is absolutely part of the fabric of Los Angeles. So let's not get that twisted. But so are 30 other things. There's just around USC, there's 5 different concert halls, 5 different concert venues just around USC's campus. And that's not even including downtown across the freeway, which then you got 4 more around LA Live. And that's just music. So USC is part of the fabric of Los Angeles, but so are 100 other things. Michigan's part of the fabric of Ann Arbor. And I'm not going to sit here and act like a Ann Arbor historian, but I'd venture to guess there's not a lot more. So thanks for your comment. Cam Life One, appreciate you, brother. Seen you on here before. There's no way SC will be able to keep Longstreet and Jonas Williams on the same team as good as Maava is playing, and he is staying one more year. That will delay Longstreet's trajectory and now a logjam. But first world problems for sure. They need to focus on bulk and speed at 1 and 3 techniques and speed and size at linebacker. So this was in reference to, I did a video last week about Jade Maava as the bye week, a little speculation, a little fun. Will he be back next year or will he go to the draft? Now, obviously, we cannot predict that because a lot of that will depend on how the rest of the season goes. If he is a locked first round pick, he will probably go to the draft. If there is like, hey, you're a fringe first, second rounder, which I think he would be if the season ended right now, just because, small sample size, then maybe he comes back. And obviously with how good this team can be next year with what they are now, plus adding on, he can have that mindset of like, hey, I can lead this team to the playoff and potentially a natty and kind of ride off in the sunset and then go get drafted in the first round. So a lot of speculation there, but yeah, I hear you, Cam. I mean, it'll change. I personally don't, in my opinion, don't think that will deter Jonas Williams or Husan Longstreet. What I do think, and I've said this before, I don't see a reason for USC to really go after a 2027 quarterback. Now, you can't predict what these kids are going to do. And if you decide not to get a 27 QB and then Jonas Williams after a year decides to transfer, and this is all just a ton of speculation hypotheticals, well, then you're kind of like, oh man, now we're back to where we were last year, right? Once Caleb left, you got Miller Moss, the incumbent. You had to hit the portal for a very raw Jaden Maava. So it's hard to predict now with the portal, with NIL, but with USC's NIL operation now with Chad Bowden, it is a lot easier to kind of keep these guys locked in, at least from a monetary standpoint. Now, how you allocate money across your roster, do you want to be allocating a lot for a third string QB who needs to sit for 2 years? That's another story. But I don't think right now there's any fear of Jonas Williams not staying, even if he has to wait 2 or 3 years. That's just my opinion. We'll see, obviously. That'll obviously have a big effect. Next one here. Barry Fisher, my man. He is a member of the channel. So shout out, Barry. If you haven't, anyone watching, become a member. Or you can even go to LAFBnetwork.com and join our community there. Help support us here at the LAFB Network. Huge appreciation, obviously. But thanks anyway for just watching no matter what. Sorry, late lads. This is in reference to our live call-in show last night. Again, Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 p.m. call-in show. I go by what Coach Lynn has always said. First priority is to stop the run, and that especially holds true with Michigan. There's no guarantee we can do that even if we try. Tim's all over the right strategy. Take away the run and get a good lead. Yeah, we'll break down a lot of this game as the week comes. We did some last night. We are having a guest on. The Rivals and On 3 Michigan reporter is going to join us. We had him on last year, actually, so he's great, fantastic insight. So he'll be able to kind of give us some more, intel on Michigan and whatnot than just what we see from our cardinal and gold colored eyes. But yeah, I mean, that Michigan's going to run the football. I mean, that is their offensive bread and butter, obviously with the true freshman quarterback. So USC has to prioritize stopping the run. And I've said it 4 times now, but make a true freshman quarterback beat you. Make Bryce Underwood beat you. Now, that's still a scary proposition based on what we've seen from the secondary. But still, for me, I'm stacking the box, and I'm putting some faith on the back end there. I don't want to die by 1,000 paper cuts and just let them run 8, 9, 10 yards every play and just methodically down the field, burn 7 minutes off the clock, and turn this into a 6 possession game for USC's offense, which is explosive. So get to a lead early for USC, which if USC wins the toss, I know there's a lot of chatter about this among the fan base. If they win the toss, I expect them to take the ball. Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out, but you got to stop the run. All right. Nature Guy 824. Caleb has the most arm talent of Lincoln's QBs by a long shot. I believe this is also in reference to the video I did on Jade Maava. I believe I said of all the QBs, I believe Jade Maava might have the most arm talent of all of Lincoln Riley's QBs. Now, I think I may have misphrased it. I still kind of believe that just when you watch him throw the ball, the effortlessness. But I think when you perpetuate arm talent, it's kind of like, all the different arm angles, what you're doing on the run. Like, no one was better than Caleb at that, right? I mean, what the magician thinks he was able to do. I think probably more what I was referencing is arm strength. When you just watch how effortless Jaden Maiava is, and as good as Caleb Williams is, like, I think Jaden Maiava has a stronger arm in terms of distance. I mean, how many times have we seen this season where, he's flat-footed in the pocket and just throws it 60 yards on a rope to Mekhi Lemon? Caleb Williams was fantastic, and his arm talent is unbelievable and unparalleled, but like, he didn't have that strength necessarily. He had to get into it sometimes. So, and this was not taking anything away from him. Who I think Caleb Williams is he's proving the NFL. I don't know. People out there saying he's a bust, or they just don't watch football. The dude's having a great career so far, 2 years in. He's been playing great. I mean, he's done things that no quarterback's ever done with his like TD to interception ratio. So, but yeah, I think I was more probably meaning arm strength and probably misspoke. But I love what Jaden Maiava's arm talent is regardless. Final one here. B22 Stinger, I believe, is what this name is. This kind of forecasting reminds me of preseason rankings. They still have half a season to go. I think it's wise to wait and have a full body work for making these kind of assumptions, in my opinion. And we still haven't seen any game tape of Longstreet operating the pass offense of this level, at this level. I guess I pulled a lot of comments from that Jaden Maiava video. But yeah, exactly. 100% totally agree. It was the bye week, having some fun, not trying to create any rumors or narratives necessarily, just kind of bye week chatter about our quarterback, who I think has had one of the best seasons so far of all quarterbacks. I think he is a top 3 quarterback in college football right now. But yeah, haven't seen Husan Longstreet fully operate the offense. We know what he can do with his legs, his athleticism, but how he is as a true passer, we will want to see kind of as things go on. So there you have it. There is the final of the comments. Like I said, moving into next week, I'll put up a post for all of you to drop some comments in. But I think that'll do it. I mean, first midday live show, had a great showing, guys. This is amazing. 300 plus people in here watching. This is gonna be fun. So every Tuesday, every Thursday, I will be here at noon. Tuesday will probably be more of a recruiting heavy with the viewer comments. Thursday will be more of a kind of game week preview. Plus, it'll be after both practices. Talk to Lincoln Riley on Tuesday. Talk to Dan Lynn on Wednesday. So I'll be able to kind of rehash and break down anything we learned from them on Thursday. So, we'll test out and see what things do, but that'll probably be kind of the style of how these Tuesday, Thursdays go throughout the rest of the season. And then we'll see how we go from there. But I'm really excited. I really do appreciate you guys. As I said, we're trying to get programming 7 days a week here on USC LAFB. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can find all of our USC Trojans content, plus all of the rest of LA sports on LAFBnetwork.com. If you prefer audio, just search Salute to Troy on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And as I mentioned, become a member. You can become a member right here on the USC channel, or you can become a member at LAFBnetwork.com. It's going to help support LAFB and help us keep this, private journalism and have some fun and whatnot. So would truly appreciate that. It helps us out a ton. We also have merch. You can see it right underneath this video. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, jump over to YouTube. A lot of people on Twitter watching. Appreciate you, but we're trying to grow the YouTube channel. So go subscribe, USC LAFB. You can check out our merch there as well. Got some cool USC designs you can check out. Real quickly, lastly, Ryan Gandy, what's up? Missed it. Who crystal ball to us? Khalil Terry, safety from Tustin, 2027 4-star talented safety, did get a crystal ball from 27 Sports to commit to USC. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But he has visited USC multiple times. We'll be visiting Notre Dame when they play USC. So things looking good in that department. Well, thank you all so much. I truly appreciate it. I'm having a blast doing this. So let's keep this thing rolling. Have some fun. Everyone have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. call-in show. And then I will be back Thursday, noon, same time, live right here. Thank you all. As always, fight on.